Good morning. Happy Saturday. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Back with a new live chat. I always feel like I'm super close to my phone when I'm doing these lives. Hello. Good morning. We are here for a new live. Hello. Good morning. Ooh. Good morning, Julie, Selena, Rachel, Viola. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Happy Saturday, guys. Good morning. So we are doing new live chat today to take place of the challenge video. So at first I'm going to chat a little bit about what I have on the challenge calendar today, and then we'll just kind of chat. When I was thinking about this last night, I was like, oh, I could do just like a little get ready with me this morning. Like, I was even thinking about doing the products that I had in my If I Can Only Keep 5 makeup tag thing that I did from Emily Noel. I was like, oh, I could get ready with those. And then I have been so slow this morning that I haven't even worked out or showered. So probably getting ready is not going to be the greatest idea for me, because then I'm going to work out and shower. So morning got a little away from me today. I did at least take my dog on a walk, but yeah, so I figure we can just chat. And I thought about doing skincare, but I already did my skincare like right when I woke up, and I was like, do you really need to do your skincare again? Probably not. That probably wouldn't be a great idea. So yeah, okay, I feel like I need to stretch my body though. I haven't even done my yoga yet, so I'm like, oh man, oh man. Okay, so what's up, guys? I have my water, I have my coffee. We're getting after it today. Okay, so to touch on the challenge calendar and what we have going on today first, this is another repeat day, so I thought it'd be fun just to do a live chat and all of that. But today, and even if you aren't taking part of my August challenge, I'm still going to challenge you to do this today and see how you do. But today's challenge task is to give 3 people a compliment, whether that's people that you're seeing in real life or online or something like that, but it's just give 3 people a compliment today. So yeah, I was about to say I haven't seen anyone today. That's a lie. I went to the gas station for a coffee, and I also went to the post office. So I've talked to 2 people today, and I didn't give anyone a compliment. So that's not great. That's not great on my part, but I will be giving 3 people a compliment today. Probably some people in real life. I think we're going to see some friends later for like a festival. I can give my plant a compliment. Perry, you are just such a good looking plant. I mean, really. I mean, and Perry's always here. No, that's not true. He did take a few days off in the beginning when I first got him, and I wasn't like, I was just, dogs count because I'm complimenting my plant. So you can definitely compliment your dog. There was a few days when I first got him that I was like, I think it's just like too much. And when I was like trying to take photos, I felt like I was posing like in the plant. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. So I would move him to the side to take like my makeup photos for Instagram and stuff. And there was a couple videos that I forgot to move him back. And it was when I had first gotten him, and people were like, where's Perry? And I was like, Mitch, people really love my plant. So that made me feel good that you guys liked the addition, because when you move, and you move into a new room and a new space, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? And decorating and all that. I mean, this is as far as I've gotten still in this room. It's just Perry, but we'll see what happens down the road if I decide to do any more decorating. But yeah, so that's it for the challenge video. I mean, if I would have done a regular video, it probably would have been pretty short, but it is to compliment 3 people. So yay. Okay. So I didn't know. I had a few ideas come in from Instagram, and this wasn't from last night. It was like earlier in the week. I said that I was going to do a YouTube live, and I asked if there was any topics that people would want to see. And someone wrote in and said to answer, assumptions, like the assumptions tag went around for a while, but they said to have it focus on like author assumptions because I am a published author. I don't know if you guys would want to do something like that, or if you guys would even have, like, I don't even know like what some of the assumptions would be. But if you guys had any author assumptions that you wanted to like pop in here, I can answer some of those. I'm kind of like scared. Answering assumptions kind of makes me a little bit nervous because I saw that and I was like, okay, maybe I could just do like general assumptions, but it sounds really like some of the assumptions can get very interesting, if you will. So there's that. But yeah, if you guys have any author assumptions that you would want me to answer, I definitely could. Selena says, I would love to start reading books. Which one would you recommend to read first? So out of my books, which ones would I recommend? I would definitely recommend I would say to start with the 6 series, probably just because it's my most recent, my most like ongoing right now. So that is the 6 Christy is the first book, and then the 6 Scarlet, and then the 6 Lauren will be releasing soon. So it is a series, and it's going to be a 6-part series. So the first 2 books are published now. And then the third one is on its way. So I would say to start with the 6, and then my other 2 that I really that I recommend quite a bit is Defining Her and also Questionable Friendship. I think those are some of my, like, those are kind of like my top ones that I tend to recommend. Emily says, assumption character development is harder than plot development. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that I would actually agree with that, because a lot of times the plot points and storylines, I'm trying to think of the best way I can say this. When I sit down to write a book, I have a general idea of what's going on, right? Like I know why I'm writing this book and all of that. But like the little plot points that come in, I don't really think of, and I don't detail my writing by like chapter 1, this is going to happen. Chapter 2, this is going to happen. Chapter 3, this is going to happen. I have like a general idea of what's going on, and then I just write the book, and those little plot points just make their way in there. But then with character development, like you really have to sit and think about your characters and how you're going to develop them, how they're going to grow. You really have to like keep tabs on, I mean, obviously like any little detail that you're writing about a character, you have to keep tabs on, from eye color to nervous tics to words that they repeat. I mean, I have to have a full sheet on characters and what they do. And especially when writing a series, I have 6 girls always running through my head now, and I have to be able to keep them straight, because I don't want to mix up, one character does this when she's nervous, but all of a sudden I'm making another character do that. So I think character development is, to me personally, and I think everyone's probably different, but I think character development is more challenging than plot development, I would say. That was a good one. Roya says, how many books did you write and how long did it take you to do it? So I have 7 books written right now. I have 7 books published right now. Technically I have 8 books written, but 7 books are published right now. And it really depends. I was on a schedule of 1 book a year that I was releasing. Last year, I actually did publish 2 books in the year, which was quite shocking. I released Scarlet 5 months after I released Christy, which is the fastest I've ever released books. But I also wrote Scarlet in 6 weeks, and I've never written a book that fast. But Christy just had such a good response, and so many people seem to just love the book and were recommending the book, and it just really had me very fired up. And especially with being a part of the series, I wanted to be able to release these books closer to one another. But I went into like a whole different zone when I was writing Scarlet. And like I said, I wrote it in 6 weeks. It usually takes me more like 6 months to actually write the book. And then obviously it takes longer because you have to get the book edited, you have to have it proofed. I have beta readers that have to read it and give me their feedback. The cover design, you have to have a marketing plan before you can put a book out. You can't just write a book and put it together and put it out. Like, there needs to be a marketing plan in there too. So please, hold on. Diane says, please say hello to Galaxy Milk Queen, who, oh, I missed what that said. She came here from somewhere. I don't know where you came from, but I like it. Hello. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you have to have a marketing plan to be able to release books. I typically would release oh, Easton. Oh, Easton Elementary. Okay. I used to work at that school. That was so funny. So yeah, I typically release every 6 months is like kind of what I was getting on. Or no, I'm sorry, I write a book in 6 months. And then it was about once a year that I'd write a book. So Christy came out last year in May, and Scarlet released in October. And now it is almost September, and I still don't have my next book out, but it's been a little bit more challenging. Not necessarily writing Lauren's story, because I felt like every time I sat down to write, it was easy for me to write her story, and I've enjoyed the series so much. But it truly was finding the time between moving to a new city that put like a huge wrench in things, and then just so many different laptop issues was insane. But the book is written and going into proofreading, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, my comments keep fading in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay. Oh, Crystal says, I look so cute and fresh this morning. Thank you. What skincare did I do? I used the Fresh Soy Cleanser with my Drunk Elephant Vitamin C Serum, the Dermalogica Prisma Protect Moisturizer. It has like SPF 30 in it. And the Dermalogica Eye Cream. And then the Melt Lip Balm that I don't really like because it's like all melted and whatnot. Hey, Shayna! Hello! So yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did for my skincare today. Carrie says, my husband recently got his pilot's license. Sorry, guys. I think our internet is still like crap. So sorry if you got kicked out. I got kicked out. I thought it was going to be gone forever. I was really sad. It's like, no, where'd you go? Yeah, our internet has been terrible the entire week. So hopefully I don't get kicked out again, because that would make me really sad. I saw a question come in of if I've ever written a book that I didn't publish. I have written, I'm so like paranoid. I keep like watching the screen now if I'm gonna get cut off again. I was only in here for 13 minutes and it already cut me off. That's so rude. Yeah, our internet's been terrible all week. But once I started my author career and published my first book and went from there, in that sense, I haven't written like a full novel and I haven't published it. I've written a lot of books prior to publishing Destined to Fail. Like when I was younger, I would write short stories, I would write books, and that sort of thing. Basically, my first works are basically just me stealing the Babysitter Club characters and like writing my own stories about them, or Mary Kate and Ashley. Just taking their characters and making own stories for them, which obviously I never went on to publish, but they are still in a box saved on floppy disks. If anyone's here and knows what a floppy disk is, I have a lot of floppy disks full of my stories, because I don't like, obviously I'm not going to do anything with them, but it's still fun to like have them around. And I don't even know how you even read a floppy disk anymore. I don't know how you would do that, but I still have them. I still saved them. The only time that I've really like started to write a book, like I had everything really like plotted out and I had started writing for it and then I ended up stopping, was it was just going to be a novella, which is basically just a shorter story. So I have a holiday novella that's out, and this was going to be another novella, and it was going to be a follow-up story, and it was going to follow one of my main characters from another book. I was going to follow her sister and her kind of like love life. And I started, like, I plotted it out and I was really excited for it. And I started to write it. And I just was kind of like, meh about it. Like I wasn't getting into it myself. I just was like, I don't know, just I wasn't really feeling it. So I probably wrote, I'm gonna say maybe like 4,000 words for it. And I was like, you know what, if I can't get into it, other people aren't going to be able to get into it either. So I stopped writing that one, and I've never felt the urge to go back to that story and try to write it again. So that's the only time that I really started writing something else that I never took anywhere, and I didn't get super far into it. So yeah, that was a good question. That was a good question though. Let's see. 80s baby here remembers the floppy disks. Yes, Jenny. I had so many floppy disks. Diane says, I know what a floppy disk is. You probably have to go to a computer parts store to see if they have an external floppy drive. Ah, that would be, it would probably be very cringeworthy reading some of these stories that I wrote. But like I said, I've always loved writing. So I mean, I've been writing since forever. So I just didn't come up with my own characters back in the day. I just stole other characters. But now this is a horrible question to ask. Would you never write another book or read another book again? Would I rather not read a book or not write a book ever again? That's so challenging. Why would you ask such a question? Oh. Okay. I would say maybe. This is hard. I would say maybe not write another book, because a lot of times in my stories, like I have like little bits of my life that I work into my stories, and maybe I could find other ways to share those stories, like YouTube videos. I've really been looking into starting a podcast, different things like that. But like, how else would I be able to, like, I would have to read, like, I want to read a book. I actually was doing an interview for a podcast yesterday, and then we were talking about books for a little bit, and I said that I typically read one book like every 2 days, and they were like, "What? How?" And I'm like, "I read all of the time. Like, I am always reading. I always have my Kindle next to me. Like, I'm constantly reading." So that would be so hard for me to give up reading. So I would try to share the stories that I'd want to put in a book. I'd try to like share them in another way. Like I would like make audiobooks. Does that count? That would be. Oh, that was a hard question. So dang. Oh. Emily says, I don't like novellas because I'm a greedy reader and I need more. I know, I have felt that way about a lot of novellas too. Like you just get like a little bit and you're like, no, what? Oh, thanks, guys. A lot of you are saying you like the idea of a podcast. Thanks. I've been thinking about it for months now, and like just trying to think of like what would my vibe be, or what topics would I discuss. And I feel like there's just like how do I say this? Like I enjoy, since I've started opening up on YouTube and talking a little bit about more personal things, but at the same time I feel like I don't know how to say this in the right way. Like I understand that I am a beauty channel, and a lot of people come for beauty and makeup and all of that. But sometimes I do want to take it a little bit further. I want to talk about other things, and I just don't know if YouTube is always the right place to do that, and if videos are the right place to do that. And so I've been kind of struggling, because I feel like I want another outlet to be able, because I don't want every single one of my YouTube videos to be like, oh, here she is talking about life again, and like, da da da, like I feel like I want another place to be able to share some of those topics and things like that. And so that's why I've been thinking about doing a podcast. So yeah, I don't know about a second channel, because running, I don't know. I've never really been into having a second channel. I've thought about it for fitness. I've thought about it for books. Like I've thought about it for a lot of different things. And I feel like I do so much regard, like, just with my first channel, and I put so much into it, just to think about, like, another channel just kind of honestly exhausts me. Like, I would rather have a whole different, like, platform, if that makes sense. And Diane says, what about using the live chat? Yeah, and I like doing the lives. And it's not to say that if I did start a podcast and kind of, have that, focus be over there, I wouldn't completely take that away from YouTube, because I know not everyone from YouTube would do another, would follow to another platform. I definitely understand that. So I would still try to work it in, kind of like what I do now. I feel like maybe it's like once a month or like every other month, I kind of do like a get ready with me where I touch on a subject or something like that. So I just think it'd be nice to have an outlet where like that's what I'm really focused on, because that's kind of what I did with my books and my blog and YouTube. Because I had a blog. I started a blog in 2009, and I'm trying to like read the comments, make sure I don't miss something. I started a blog in 2009, and kind of the main goal was I wanted it to be a book blog. I wanted to be able to meet, make connections in the book industry, because I knew I wanted to publish a book. I knew I wanted to talk to other people about the books I was reading, because I didn't really have a lot of people in my real life that like read the same books as me and whatnot. And so, but I also knew that I never wanted to just be a book blog. My biggest thing is like, I don't want to be defined by one thing. I don't want to just be an author. I don't want to just be a beauty blogger. I don't want to just be this, just be that. Like, I have so many different interests and passions and things that I like to talk about. So I don't ever want to just be one thing. So even when I started Chick Lit Plus, the name, so Chick Lit is a genre. I kind of describe it as like lighthearted women's fiction, like some good humor and, different things like that. And so it's called Chick Lit Plus because I wanted to, have other discussions on there. When I started it, I had, book reviews, but I was also reviewing makeup. I was reviewing like fitness DVDs. Like I blogged about when I did Jillian Michaels 30-day shred video and, just different things like that. And then when I started YouTube, I actually started YouTube mostly focused on books. Like it was like a booktube channel. I did book hauls, I did book reviews, and I was kind of like, this just seems like I'm doing a lot of the same work for my blog for YouTube. It just kind of felt like I just wasn't loving it as much. So then that's why I started putting in the beauty videos, and that did so much better. So I kind of then divided those two platforms. So my blog is really focused on books and book reviews, author interviews, things like that. And now YouTube is solely focused on beauty. And again, I kind of brings, different aspects to life. When I release a book, I do a get ready with me. That's all about that book. I talk about it and everything, but the main focus of this channel is beauty. But I would really like a place to be able to talk about, like some deeper or heavier subjects. And I don't always want to bring that into YouTube. So that's why I've been thinking about the podcast, to be able to have that kind of space to do it, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Crystal says, I like your mix of topics in this channel. Thank you. Yeah, I try, like, again, I want the main focus to be the beauty and the makeup and the reviews and just like fun chats and things like that. But then I like to bring in, other parts of me as well to this channel. And so I would definitely keep that. And then just have another space to be able to kind of get a little bit more deeper into some of those other subjects. My biggest, not my biggest issue at this point, but I've been trying to come up with a name for it. Mitch and I were actually brainstorming names last night, because I found like a spot, like where, because at first I was like, how do you even record? Like, what are you doing? And all these different things. And I kind of found that. But now I'm just trying to come up. I feel like naming things, there's just so hard. So hard. So that's my currently what I'm doing on my list of my giant to-do list. Name the podcast. And then we will keep going. We will keep going from there. I'll probably I feel like I'll record a lot of the episodes first and then kind of put them out. I probably, like, what I have now is like doing one once a week, and just kind of like seeing how it goes from there. But it's really funny. marching forward, I truly, I thought of like marching on, marching forward, like, you know, some sort of like like having march in the name of the podcast and all of that. So that's funny. Yeah, like those are definitely in the running too. Let's see. Selena says, do I ever handwrite my books when you start them? I don't typically handwrite. Real Life with Samantha March, I like that one too. I don't typically handwrite my books. Marching on. Sorry, I'm trying to catch all your suggestions here. But no, I don't typically handwrite my books because I how do I say this? I feel like I would kind of be doing double work. March Madness, I like that. I feel like I'd be doing double work with writing it and then having to, you know, then also put it on the computer, because in order to go off to like my editor and proofreader, that's all like digital and things like that. So a lot of times I handwrite my notes. I handwrite like notes about my characters, you know, just little like scheduling things that happen in the book. I typically handwrite those for whatever reason, and I have a notebook next to me, but for the actual book, I do that all on the computer. So, okay, so a lot of you guys do like marching forward, marching on. Okay. I wasn't positive, because then I was afraid that like march on or marching on, I felt like it sounded too, like, I didn't know if it was like parade-y or like, I don't know. I wasn't sure. Vicky says, how does a one-person podcast work? I thought podcasts were conversations between multiple people. Is it like a radio show? LOL. Oh, March Together. That's a good one too. So yes, so with podcasts, I listen to kind of a variety of them. One that I like that I reference a lot is the Rise podcast with Rachel Hollis, and sometimes it is just her. Sometimes she has like some of her podcasts, like I just listened to one yesterday morning, and it was actually a clip from like a business conference that she did. So it was like, you know, like the audio was kind of different because it was like her live speaking to a crowd, but they had, you know, I think it was like 70 minutes of that. So that was interesting. And, you know, sometimes she does like excerpts from her book. Sometimes it is just her. And she has a Nod to My Military Family. That's a good one. But sometimes it is just her like speaking on a topic. Like the other day she had Stop Procrastinating, which kind of like got me fired up a little bit, because I felt like I've been kind of not necessarily procrastinating a few things, because like every night I try to work on something from my to-do list, but especially with like the podcast stuff, it just kind of keeps getting pushed down and pushed down. And she's like, stop procrastinating. I was like, oh, I know. And so that was just herself. But sometimes she does have guests on there too, and things like that. So I kind of want it to be a mix of both, like sometimes just me, like sometimes having guests on or interviews or things like that. And I did an interview last night with a podcast I think is going to go up next week. I'm not 100% sure yet. And it was two gals, but it was really simple. Like I just called in and it was via an app. And then, you know, they had some questions for me on there. So I think that's kind of my idea to it. So to have a little bit of a mix of just me and then bringing in guests. And like I've already had like a bunch of different guests written down and just like different ideas, whether it be from like YouTubers or business people or, you know, just different people in my life. I think too, it might be easier for me to get guests on a podcast of like people that I know personally, because I think a podcast maybe isn't quite as daunting as coming on like a not necessarily a live video, but you know, a video that's going out on the internet. People don't have to worry about appearances and, you know, different things like that. So there's a lot of people that I have in my real life that I think are very fascinating or have gone through things, or I think like I look up to a lot, like with, you know, like on the business side of things and things like that. And I think I would have an easier time having them come on to a podcast, which seems a little bit more chill and maybe not as invasive, perhaps, as like doing a YouTube video. Because I've never had, you know, a friend or a family member on my YouTube channel. Besides, like I did a few vlogs one year. I think it was like 2 years ago. I had a couple of vlogs in the summer, but it was all like no one spoke in that video. It was still mostly focused on me, but it was like, you know, like us playing volleyball and like things like that. So like I've never had someone like sit down and chat with me from my real life. So yeah, I don't, that's kind of like, that's one of my ideas that I'm throwing around, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer to kicking that off. And yeah, I'd be excited about it. Marchember as your own month. That's really funny. I like that. Kara says, I like the idea of the podcast. The marching on is good. I also like Positively Sam. Oh, that's a good one too. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. You guys have some really good name ideas. Now I'm kind of like, so many good ideas came in. But yeah, I'd be really excited. You know, I'm always like, I just love kind of like what we were talking about last night in the podcast that I did was about like, they asked me if I've always been a creative person. And so we kind of got on like this creativity chat and all of that. And I love being creative. I love being able to create new things. You know, it's why I love books so much. You know, I love the different platforms that the internet offers us these days. And I know, especially for me, like I got really fired up about wanting to start a podcast when I started to get really into the different podcasts and when I started to notice the effect they were having on me. I listen to a podcast every single day. You know, every single morning I walk my dog, and when I walk her, I listen to a podcast, and I just always feel like I'm learning something, or I get fired up about something, or, you know, it gives me, you know, topic ideas to talk to like with my friends and stuff. I'll be like, oh, you know, I learned this in, you know, this podcast the other day, and then we can have a whole conversation about it. And so once I started noticing that I was getting really fired up by these, I was like, why can't I do this? You know, that's kind of like what I think so much is, you know, why can't I do this? I can do that too. Like, you know, obviously it's a lot of work. It's not always just as easy as being like, I can do that too. Like you have to figure out how you actually do it and all of that. But I just always like to think that whatever I want to do, as long as I put my mind to it and as long as I work hard at it, I can do it. You just gotta do it. So so yeah. Janelle says, quick subject change. It's cooler here in Nebraska, and I can't wait to wear my Cool to Be Kind merch. Yay! Oh, you got Cool to Be Kind. That's so awesome. I did add a couple new pieces last night to my Teespring store, and they were suggestions off of you guys. So I was really happy. There's two new shirts up in there. There's Lead, Inspire, Motivate is one shirt. It says it on there, and then also the Positive Posse, which I love so much. I thought that was so fun. So I love that. So those are up now too. I think that was so awesome. Let's see. Oh, Janelle says, we continue the podcast conversation. I just want to share how excited I am. Yes, I actually, when I walked Aries this morning, I was just wearing this t-shirt. I do have long pants on, but it was actually like at one point I was like, it's kind of chilly. I probably should have put a long sleeve shirt on instead. I just got my long sleeve Aspire to Inspire shirt. Yeah, Positive Posse, that was you. Yes. I loved it so much. I think I told you in the first comment, I was like, I want to put that on a shirt. I thought that was so good. Yeah. But yeah, it was chillier. It was chillier in here. Laura says, I can't wait for my Mood Motivated shirt to come in. I have that one too. I like that one a lot. Oh, I love it. Emily says, can we be the Positive Posse instead of the Sam Squad? I love it. Yes, you guys can be anything you want to be. Charisse, I have a Teespring store. I think it's just if you either like Google Samantha March Teespring, or if you're on the Teespring site, you can just type in Samantha March. I think that's where everything is. When this video goes back on the playback, I will put I'll have all my links in there, like my regular description box, and that's in there. I just don't know how to do that before I do a live. I used to know because I used to do lives all the time. I used to be more in the know, but now I'm like, what? You know, Vicky says, can we get Aries merch? You know what? I wish I could make her like a dog shirt, because especially in the wintertime, we like to, like, she has like a flannel and things like that. And I really want to make her something, but Teespring doesn't have dog clothes. Why not? Oh, but yeah, I should do something for her. I just don't know why. I can hear she just made like a big sigh. She's sleeping on the couch in the sunshine, like right where the patch of sun hits. She's just laying there, living her best life, working on her tan, I guess. But But yeah, oh, but yeah, it is, it definitely is cooler here today too. It's so funny at night, and I don't know if this is gonna make sense to anybody, but at night, it sounds like fall. Like, and I don't know if maybe if you guys live in the Midwest or somewhere where your seasons like turn quite a bit, it just sounds like fall outside. Like certain animals, I mean, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. But I was sitting in my office last night listening, and I was like, wow, it sounds like fall outside. Selena says it's still hot in California. Holly says just talking about fall makes me so excited. Maria says it smells like fall. Yes, that's another one. That's it. You can smell fall. You can smell it in the air. You can hear it. Yes, 100%. I totally know what you're saying. Yeah, the kids here went back to school yesterday. I was seeing all of the like back to school, photos and stuff like that, which is cute. But yeah, times are changing, but it's okay. I get so sad when summer leaves because I love summer. I love the warm weather, but I love football. So that's like my like, okay, summer's ending, but it means football is about to be back on. So that's what gets me pretty stoked. And I am so excited that we got tickets and we are going to a football game this year. Yes, we're not going to Green Bay, which I would really love to go to Green Bay. I have been there. I've never, or no, I have been, so I'm a Packers fan. I have been to Lambeau Field, and I've also been to the Panther Stadium. When my family was stationed in the Carolinas, we did go to a Panthers game. But other than that, I've never been to any of the stadiums. So we're going to a Kansas City game, which I'm really excited for. Kansas City isn't too far from us. It's definitely closer than Green Bay for sure, because that's quite a drive. I have really bad allergies, so sorry if I keep messing with my nose and my eyes. My allergies are bad today. But I'm really excited. We're going to the Packers-Chiefs game. I think it's like a Sunday night football game, so I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to see that stadium. I've never been, and then obviously to see the Packers. But oh, now it says you're doing your fantasy football draft tonight. That's fun. I never get invited to do the fantasy drafts. Like, only the guys do it. And there's a bunch of us girls like it. We're like, we would do it, and they're like, okay. Oh, Erica says, let me know when you are in Green Bay. It's got some great new additions. I know, I've seen that. We are actually Packers owners. You guys, if you don't know, like it's not super simple to buy stock in the Packers, but every once in a while they will open it up and you can buy stock in Green Bay. And we did it several Christmases ago. We were not even married yet. When we bought our stock, that was our Christmas present one year for the two of us. So we get a lot of like updates, and we get like letters in the mail letting us know what's going on, and like we get invited to like the meetings and stuff. But of course they're always on like a Tuesday at 3. And it like obviously if we lived close we'd be able to go, but it's like I think it's like, is it an 8-hour drive or something, or a 10-hour drive? Like it's a haul from where we are to get to Green Bay. But I think it was last year or 2 years ago when we got the letter for the annual meeting, and we were like, yeah, the shareholders meeting, we were like, we are going to do it, like we are going to make it to one of these meetings, like we have to, like da da da. And we got the notice for it, and it was the next week that the meeting was going to be. And I went online to look at hotels, and everything near that Green Bay area was either sold out or like $600 a night for a room. And I was like, that's rough. Guess we won't be going to that meeting. Like, dang it. I think it was like the 100th year or whatever, so it was like a big deal. They had a lot going on, so I think a lot of people probably did try to go to this one, but I was like, dang it. If only we lived closer. Okay, so, okay. Janelle says, which coffee from Casey's do you drink? This is the like white chocolate something. I can't remember what it is. And not all Casey's has it. We have 2 Casey's in town here. Only one has this particular drink, and it's the only one that I found that I like. And even back where we used to live, I drove into town one day and I went to the Casey's for it. And yeah, it's one of the cappuccinos. Yep. And I went there and they didn't have it either. I was like, well, what the heck? That's kind of crazy. What's my favorite autumn color? I don't know. I kind of like that, like, is this an autumn color? Like, kind of like that grungy yellow. I like that one. I think I like that color. I do really like orange though. Like I like orange like eyeshadow a lot for sure too. I do like fall clothes. I'll say that. I like fall clothes. I like comfy sweaters and the boots and the jackets and all of that. But I do like football more. Selena says that you love the grungy colors too. Janelle says that you'll have to try it. The regular coffees are too bitter. Yeah, I don't like just like regular coffee. I usually need something sweet, but not like too sweet, but like somewhere in the middle there. So, okay, so we're about at 40 minutes, which is not too bad. Not too bad. Crystal says, do I like pumpkin spice? I don't. I saw in our grocery store here, they have the Starbucks in there, and I was walking past it the other day as I was like walking out, because like when you walk out from the registers, like the Starbucks is on the right, and I glanced over it and I saw a big sign that said pumpkin spice latte is coming August 27th, I think it said. I was like, yep, I knew that was coming. I know so many people like it. I don't love it. But I also just started getting into Starbucks like within the past few months here, so probably have to like ease myself into it. Angelica said, is women's wrestling as big in Iowa as men's wrestling? You know, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about wrestling. I will not lie to you. I don't know a whole lot. Samantha says, I don't buy Starbucks, but you love the pumpkin spice K-Cups. That's like, I mean, that's probably much cheaper too, so. And Laura says, you don't like pumpkin spice, but you love apple cider. Sometimes I can do apple cider. Like sometimes. Not all the time. But sometimes I can. But yeah, I'm trying to think what we even talked about today, because I had like really no idea what this chat was going to be about, so I didn't put oh, Angelica says you wrestle for University of Providence. Gotcha. I usually put like in the live chat title, it says like live chat and then like whatever I think we're talking about. I'm like, I have no idea what we're talking about today. So I just put live chat. That's it. I was like, well, we'll just see where this takes us. But I think we've talked about books and podcasts and fall and football. And again, make sure if you are following along in the challenge, compliment 3 people today, because that would be good. Erica says a local coffee shop does this steamed apple cider. That is awesome. That does sound pretty good. You had your first pumpkin spice latte. That's so funny. Oh, Angelica said she thought Colourpop's orange palette was going to be pumpkin. Yeah, that would have been cool. I do have audio for most of my books. I think A Questionable Friendship has audio. The 6 Christie and the 6 Scarlet both have audio. Those might be the only ones that have audio, but I do, I'll have some links also in my description box. They're on Audible or like on Amazon. You can also get the audiobooks via the Amazon link also is up there. Ellie said, you complimented my daughter for letting me watch this while she watches a film. Great parenting. Love that. That's pretty great. That's awesome. I think I'm going to do lives. I think I was just looking at the calendar, but of course I forgot. Maybe like Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I think we're like some repeat days on there. Tomorrow's video is a declutter, and actually on the schedule is declutter. So tomorrow I'm just going to have like my one regular video, which is actually a foundation declutter. So if you want to check that out, because you know, like just with all this foundation craze and there's so many new foundations, I'm like, it got out of hand really quickly. So tomorrow is going to be a foundation declutter, and that's also going to be like the challenge video, since that is to declutter as well. So yeah, and then I think Tuesday, Wednesday of next week is going to, I'll have some live chats maybe in like the afternoon and evening again or something like that. So I try to like do different times when I do lives and such. And yeah, I am still planning to try the Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I'm probably gonna wait till it gets to Sephora. What was I gonna say? I was kind of thinking about like starting in September to maybe doing once a week or maybe every other week to do a live, and to have that just be like my video of the day to be a live, but also, you know, like one week do a morning, the next week do an afternoon, the next week do an evening, things like that. Because I know like one of the most common things I get when I do a live is like, can you do them later? Can you do them earlier? Can you do them this? And it's like, it's never going to work for everybody. There's just no chance that it's always going to work. So that's why I think like maybe I can like switch it up and switch it around and all of that. But I was thinking maybe of that for September, like once a week or every other week or, you know, something like that. So, hey, Carrie, you made it for live. What's up? Gail says you are decluttering today. That's awesome. Thank you, Lori. You said that you like the lives. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm thinking about hopefully making them a part of the regular schedule again. And it does kind of help me too, because I remember when I did do them regularly in place of like, you know, a regular upload, it does kind of help with, you know, it's kind of just like easier to like pop on and say, hey, there's no editing to it. Literally when you're done, you just click like, okay, and it starts to process the video and all of that. So that might help, because September is probably going to be pretty crazy with trying to get my next book out, like starting in on the marketing plans for that one. Obviously starting to write my next book. If I do want to launch like this podcast and all of that, like there's a lot to do. So even just taking like one day away from like a regular video and being able to do a live, like it's still, you know, I'm still here for an hour. And I've said it so many times, like I love multitasking. I love doing, you know, a bunch of different things at once. And obviously when I'm doing a live chat, I can barely drink a coffee while talking. So, you know, I can't really be doing anything else, but you know, it does kind of free up some of my time too with like editing and all of that. So just an idea there. Would I do a wedding makeup video? I don't know. I've done some on my channel. I don't know if I've done bridal videos. Have I done, I don't know if I've done a bridal one, but I've done like bridesmaid. I think I've done like wedding guest and, you know, like different things like that. But Heather says, how long does it take you to edit your videos? It usually just depends. Because I mean, a lot of my videos are longer, like 20-minute, like 25-minute videos. And so those generally take me around like 45, 50 minutes to film or so. Especially because I have like a little table to the side of me that I can put stuff on, but it's not super big. I think like my, you know, dream is to have like an actual desk in front of me where I can have everything that I'm talking about, or if like I'm doing my makeup, I can have everything right here and a mirror. And all of that, because like when I do videos of like get ready with me, I'm always holding a mirror too and trying to apply makeup, and it's just, it'd be awesome if like I could have a mirror sitting here, but one day, mega goals. And so it can kind of take me a while just kind of like moving back and forth and, you know, different things like that. So yeah, so like actual filming can take me a lot longer than like the video that goes up and all of that. And then yeah, if you like for my 25-minute videos, I mean, it usually takes me, I'm gonna say like 3-4 hours or something like that. So it takes a while. Perry's coming out of my head. Editing does take me a very long time for sure. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. So Holly said, we considered doing a get ready with me talking about your book's characters and doing your makeup like you think they would. Maybe like maybe for, because like I said, when I release a new book, I do a get ready with me, and it's usually like about like I'm talking about the book and, you know, answering any questions or things like that. But maybe I could do like a makeup focused look based on that character. So will I ask for a desk as a Christmas gift? I don't know, maybe. I don't usually like ask for a lot of things. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah. Okay, so we're about to 15 minutes, so I'm going to start to wrap this up because for some reason it always takes me really long to like actually say goodbye. I do not have a Dyson hairdryer. I don't actually own a hairdryer. So I don't blow dry my hair. I don't know what this was, but that's me blow drying my hair. Apparently I have 2 blow dryers in my fantasy and I blow dry my hair like this. I don't really know why I did that, but no, I try really, really hard to keep heat off my hair. That's why you don't usually see me with like beautifully curled hair or super straight hair. or, you know, anything awesome like that, because I really try to keep heat off of it as much as I can, because my hair has been like, my hair's been through a journey. So I try, like, every once in a while, you know, if I'm like feeling fancy, I'll throw some curls in it, or, you know, something like that. But I for the most part, I try to keep heat off of my hair. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I kind of keep forgetting that it's Saturday. My husband's working today, so it feels almost like a regular work day around here. So yeah, it's Saturday. I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to shower, not blow dry my hair with my 2 blow dryers. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a good one. So again, I'll post in the community tab and like on Instagram stories and all of that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I will have another live chat. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for coming by and just kind of having like a chill hangout session with me. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.